Good morning and welcome to AM Agenda. One government in Australia in recent times has been slammed, ridiculed more than any other, criticised as wasteful, incompetent and sometimes worse. Falling from scandal to scandal, it's widely been written off, even though it's well over a year until that state's next election. Coming up on the program, I'm going to be speaking to that state's Premier, the New South Wales Premier, Nathan Rees. First, though, on AM Agenda, our regular Wednesday panel. Good morning to Liberal MP, Liberal frontbencher Scott Morrison, and Labor Parliamentary Secretary Jason Clare. Gentlemen, good to see you both.
Hey, good morning, Kieran.
First of all, I want to ask you about the entitlements issue. It came to the fore yesterday with the Auditor General report. Jason, is this long overdue, the fact that the government's doing this review into entitlements across the board?
Oh, well, I think there was an original review in 2001, 2 and 03, 04. Then this report shows that the system needs to be fixed. The one big problem is that it's not clear for a lot of members of Parliament who want to make sure they do the right thing. They find the rules complex and inconsistent. They want a clearer system. Scott said this before, and I agree with you, mate, that set the rules and we'll work with them, make them as clear as we possibly can. And that's what the government said it will do yesterday. So I think everyone will think that's a good thing.
Not everyone, though. There are some MPs in your caucus, apparently, who were complaining about it in marginal seats, saying, why get rid of this? We're in government. We need it to be re-elected.
The key concern that members have is they've got questions about how the system works. It's too complicated. You want to make sure that you're doing the right thing. The thing that will get the Rudd government re-elected is not flies in the letterbox. It's good policy. It's making sure that we avoid a recession and keep people in work, and that's the priority and the focus of the government.
Did this blow out under the Howard government? Did increase to $150,000 a year in terms of printing entitlements, and the Rudd government's halved it?
Well, all of these things are always done on a bipartisan basis, whether we're in government or opposition, and the coalition's working with the government on this, and Jason and I are new MPs. We want to make sure the rules are clear, we understand what we can and cannot do, and I know, talking to colleagues on both sides of the chamber, everyone wants to do the right thing by the entitlements and by the rules. The rules have been changed, we'll abide by those rules, and I think that's what the public expects.
Well, you don't want a situation arising where there's an incremental increase in entitlements rather than the salary and the scrutiny decreases, like in the United Kingdom, where people were using their entitlements for moats around castles.
Well, yeah, as I said before, I don't think we'd have a moat problem here, but I think it's important that people understand what the rules are and that there are clear instructions about what can be done, what can't be done, and I think everybody is in good faith, wants to comply with those, has complied with them, wants to comply with them, and we'll get on with the new rules.
Do you think everyone has?
Yeah, I think so. People want certainty and they want clarity.
There are no sort of bad eggs anywhere in the place.
The key issue here is making sure that the rules are simple and easy to understand. That was what MPs were talking about yesterday. Make sure that the rules are simple and clear to understand, and then you can abide by them.
Okay. Women in combat. Greg Combet, the Defence Personnel Minister, is suggesting that women should take on frontline duties. Scott, your thoughts?
Well, I think this is an incredibly serious issue, and I don't think you rush into a decision like this, and I'm a little concerned at the government's haste on this matter. I mean, taking that decision has major operational implications, and they need to be worked through. The Defence Forces need to be listened to. There are very few countries around the world who do this. I mean, Israel is one of them, but I don't think we're about to compare our situation to Israel. Now, a good colleague of mine, Stuart Robert, has been, I think he's the only person who served in the infantry in the front line, and he made some comments about this morning, and he says, he's been out there. He knows what it's like. You don't take these decisions lightly. They should proceed extremely cautiously, and I certainly don't think there's any place for any agendas in this debate. This is about national security. It's not about any other agenda. And so it's important that we focus on what's best for national security, not any political agenda.
Jason, your thoughts? It is a controversial issue, and women across our society now are accepted in every other job.
Oh, that's right. And look, I agree with Scott that it's one you consult with the military on. It's an important decision to make. But the fact is that only 13% of the ADF are women at the moment. And I'm reflecting on the New South Wales Police Force. 26% of the population there are women. A very serious and dangerous job. Women at the moment do about 92% of the tasks in the ADF. And I think what the Minister is talking about here is making sure we look at physical capacity for the job. There are some tasks that women are prohibited from doing at the moment. Let's make sure that the decisions are based on operational decisions, like the one Scott's talking about, but also let's have a good look at physical capacity.
Okay, we're just a few days away now from September 11. Of course, it brings those terrible thoughts back every year, and today we're seeing on the front page of the Fairfax Press reports of problems with our port security, that people with criminal records who pose a terrorist or organised crime risk are able to work on our ports. What's going on here? I mean, this is a number of years after that first attack, Jason.
Yeah, 2 days until the 8th anniversary of September 11. Port security and the security of all of our installations, airports and so forth are just as important today that we get right as they were back then.
But how come there's this hole in the security?
Well, this comes out of a report that was commissioned when we came to government. The Howard government initiated action in 2003. They set up a port security regime in 2003. When we came to government, we said we'd have a good look at it. A report is now... It has now been sent out for consultation with industry stakeholders, the people who run the ports, as well as all of the government security organisations. That concludes at the end of the year. But you're right, this is very important. It's important that the government gets it right. That's why we commissioned this review.
Well, reviews are one thing, but since the government's come to office, they've cut the budget by $17 million to border protection. The only thing they actually have done is change the name. They went out there and changed all the names on the dogs that walk around the airports and put new badges on them and new caps and new hats. That's been the government's focus in terms of changing letterhead in border protection, not actually looking at these issues. Now, in my electorate, I have a lot of people who work at Sydney Airport, and one of the issues that's been raised with me by people who work on planes is the fact that at Sydney Airport, for example, we don't have a separate secure parking lot for those who go onto planes, other than what Qantas provides for their employees. But for the other airlines, they go into a public car park on the other side of the airport, and they get on the bus, they ride to the plane like everyone else. And you know, we've raised these issues, and we're very concerned about them, and the government's changing letterhead.
Did you do anything about them in government?
Mate, look, these were issues that have been raised by me as being an MP in the last 12 months. I've raised those with your government, and as yet I haven't had any response.
And the government's been in now for nearly 2 years, Jason. There's only so long the government can keep saying, well, the Howard government didn't do this.
No, but the government didn't sit back and say, we'll just let things go the way they are.
But
you come to government, you have a look at what's going on, and you have to do a proper review of these things.
Yeah, but you cut the budget, Jason, and the only change that you've made is the change to the department's name. I just don't think that's enough.
What this review will show is that there are major problems with the system, the regime that was set up by the Howard government. Let's get it right. Don't sit back and do nothing. Let's make sure we get it right.
Okay. On the issue of